Part 4 of The Watsons by Jane Austen. Mary apologised in some confusion. She had not thought a strong likeness at all incompatible with very different degrees of beauty. There might be a resemblance in countenance and the complexion, and even the features were very unlike. "I know nothing of my brother's beauty," said Emma, "for I have not seen him since he was 7 years old, but my father reckons us alike." "Mr. Watson?" cried Mr. Edwards. "Well, you astonish me. There is not the least likeness in the world. Your brother's eyes are grey, yours are brown. He has a long face and a wide mouth. My dear, do you perceive the least resemblance?" "Not the least. Miss Emma Watson puts me very much in mind of her eldest sister, and sometimes I see a look of Miss Penelope, and once or twice there has been a glance of Mr. Robert, but I cannot perceive any likeness to Samuel." "I see the likeness between her and Miss Watson," replied Mr. Edwards, "very strongly, but I am not sensible of the others. I do not think she is like any of the family but Miss Watson, but I am very sure there is no resemblance between her and Sam." This matter was settled, and they went to dinner. "Your father, Miss Emma, is one of my oldest friends," said Mr. Edwards, as he helped her to wine, when they were drawn round the fire to enjoy their dessert. "We must drink to his better health. It is a great concern to me, I assure you, that he should be such an invalid. I know nobody who likes a game of cards in a social way better than he does, and very few people that play a fairer rubber. It is 1,000 pities that he should be so deprived of the pleasure, for now we have a quiet little whist club that meets 3 times a week at the White Hart, and if he could but have his health, how much he would enjoy it." "I dare say he would, sir, and I wish with all my heart he were equal to it." "Your club would be better fitted for an invalid," said Mrs. Edwards, "if you did not keep it up so late." This was an old grievance. "So late, my dear, what are you talking?" cried the husband with sturdy pleasantry. "We are always at home before midnight. They would laugh at Osborne Castle to hear you call that late. They are but just rising from dinner at midnight." "There is nothing to the purpose," retorted the lady calmly. "The Osbornes are to be no rule for us. You had better meet every night and break up 2 hours sooner." So far the subject was very often carried, but Mr. and Mrs. Edwards were so wise as never to pass that point, and Mr. Edwards now turned to something else. He had lived long enough in the idleness of a town to become a little of a gossip, and having some curiosity to know more of the circumstances of his young guest than had yet reached him, he began with, "I think, Miss Emma, I remember your aunt very well about 30 years ago. I am pretty sure I danced with her in the old rooms at Bath, the year before I married. She was a very fine woman then, but like other people, I suppose she has grown somewhat older since that time. I hope she is likely to be happy in her second choice." "I hope so. I believe so, sir," said Emma in some agitation. "Mr. Turner had not been dead a great while, I think." "About 2 years, sir." "I forgot what her name is now." "O'Brien." "Irish. I remember. She is gone to settle in Ireland. I do not wonder that you should not wish to go with her into that country, Miss Emma, but it must be a great deprivation to her, poor lady, after bringing you up like a child of her own." "I was not so ungrateful, sir," said Emma warmly, "as to wish to be anywhere but with her. It did not suit them. It did not suit Captain O'Brien that I should be of the party." "Captain," repeated Mrs. Edwards. "The gentleman is in the army, then?" "Yes, ma'am." "Ay, there is nothing like your officers for captivating the ladies, young or old. There is no resisting a cockade, my dear." "I hope there is," said Mrs. Edwards gravely, with a quick glance at her daughter, and Emma had just recovered from her own perturbation in time to see a blush on Miss Edwards's cheek, and in remembering what Elizabeth had said of Captain Hunter, I wonder and waver between his influence and her brother's. To wonder and waver between his influence and her brother's. Elderly ladies should be careful how they make a second choice, observed Mr. Edwards. Carefulness, discretion should not be confined to elderly ladies or to a second choice, added his wife. It is quite as necessary to young ladies in their first. Rather more so, my dear, replied he, because young ladies are likely to feel the effects of it longer. When an old lady plays the fool, it is not in the course of nature that she should suffer from it for many years. Emma drew her hand across her eyes, and Mrs. Edwards, on perceiving it, changed the subject to one of less anxiety to all. With nothing to do but to expect the hour of setting off, the afternoon was long to the two young ladies, and though Miss Edwards was rather discomposed at the very early hour which her mother always fixed for going, that early hour itself was watched with some eagerness. The entrance of the tea things at 7 o'clock was some relief, and luckily Mr. and Mrs. Edwards always drank a dish extraordinary and ate an additional muffin when they were going to sit up late, which strengthened the ceremony almost to the wished-for moment. At a little before 8, the Tomlinsons' carriage was heard to go by, which was the constant signal for Mrs. Edwards to order hers to the door, and in a very few minutes the party was transported from the quiet warmth of a snug parlour to the bustle, noise, and draughts of air of the broad entrance passage of an inn. Mrs. Edwards carefully guarding her own dress while she attended with yet greater solicitude to the proper security of her young charges' shoulders and throats, led the way up the wide staircase, while no sound of a ball at the first scrape of one violin blessed the ears of her followers, and Miss Edwards, on hazarding the anxious inquiry of whether there were many people come yet, was told by the waiter, as she knew she should, that Mr. Tomlinson's family were in the room. In passing along a short gallery to the assembly room, brilliant in lights before them, they were accosted by a young man in a morning dress and boots, who was standing in the doorway of a bedchamber, apparently on purpose to see them go by. "Ah, Mrs. Edwards, how do you do? How do you do, Miss Edwards?" cried he with an easy air. "You are determined to be in good time, I see, as usual. The candles are but this moment lit." End of part 4.